painter, but something you say. I'll pull it up later.
No, it's a quote from Dolly.
Oh.
I'll send you an email.
And here I was, I thought it was his. Note to self, originality is concealing your source.
I agree.
And so to understand the nature, some of the primary colors of God, today we're going to start back, and we're just going to read this, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, and we're going to start all the way in the very, very, very beginning. In Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. And here's what it says. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. Then he separated the light from darkness and called the light day and the darkness night. Notice, you see it right there. God, he formed the heavens and the earth, and then he took something simple, he took light. So now he's starting to see the complexity starting to come in. He's starting to add stuff in. And then we get day and night, and evening passed, and morning came, marking the first day. Then God said, "Let there be space between the waters to separate the waters of the heavens from the waters of the earth." And that is what happened. God made this space to separate the waters of the earth from the waters of the heaven. God called this space sky. And evening passed, and morning came, marking the second. Get that? Before this moment, there was not a thing called sky. Sky didn't exist before this moment. Then God said, "Let the waters beneath the sky flow together into one place so dry ground may appear." And that is what happened. God called the dry ground land and the waters sea. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land sprout with vegetation, every sort of seed-bearing plants, and trees that grow seed-bearing fruit. These seeds will then produce the kinds of plants and trees from which they came." And that is what happened. The land produced vegetation, all sorts of trees of the same kind, and God saw that it was good. And evening passed, and morning came, marking the third day. Then God said, "Let great lights appear in the sky to separate the day from night. Let them mark off the seasons, days and years. Let these lights in the sky shine down on the earth." And that is what happened. So imagine that before that moment, before he did this, there were no stars in the sky. Now, you might go outside tonight and look up and see no stars and say, "Well, we're back to that." No, that's just smart. We created that. The stars are there. He did it. So if you haven't seen them, go out to the country somewhere. They're there. Trust me. Okay? The stars are there. Then God said, this is verse 20. Then God said, "Let the waters swarm with fish and other life. Let the skies be filled with birds of every kind." So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that scurries and swarms in the water, and every sort of bird, each producing offspring of the same kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply. Let the fish fill the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." And evening passed, and morning came, marking the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the earth produce every sort of animal, each producing offspring of the same kind, livestock, small animals that scurry along the ground, and wild animals." And that is what happened. And God made all sorts of wild animals, livestock, and small animals, each able to produce offspring of the same kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make human beings to be in our own, let me start over. Then God said, let us make human beings in our image to be like ourselves. They will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, all the wild animals on the earth, and the small animals that scurry along the ground. So God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. He created them. Then God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and govern it. Reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground. Then God said, look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant throughout the earth, all the fruit trees for your food, and I have given every green plant as food for all the wild animals, the birds in the sky, and the small animals that scurry along the ground, everything that has life. And that is what happened. Then God looked over all he had made. He saw that it was very good. And evening passed and morning came, marking the sixth day. Now imagine for a moment you show up on the scene and you're Adam or Eve, you're the first human. And you get here and you're sitting here, and as you show up you see birds, water, seas, ocean, land, sky, stars, animals, trees. You have no clue where it came from. And you're sitting there and you're saying, wow, this is amazing. It is amazing how he pulled all of these things together. It's amazing in your life right now, all of the things that he's doing for you. And maybe you're here and you're feeling like, he's not doing anything for me. Yeah, well, guess what? You're still here. He's doing something for you. He's working on you, through you. Just because you may not understand or you may not be able to figure out how to see what he's doing doesn't mean he's not doing it. And so we're here and we're in amazement at life. And maybe life isn't the thing that amazes you. Maybe it's something else. Whatever it is, you're in amazement at something. And God is working through that. And you're sitting there and you're saying, I don't understand that. I don't understand how to set a world record. I don't get it. I don't get it. And we're looking at God and we're saying, okay, so you said that you were some primary colors, but what I'm really seeing, can we get some colors, Phil? But what I'm really seeing is I'm seeing, as Phil mixes, Phil's mixing. Bear with us, Phil's mixing. What we're really seeing is in our lives right now, we've got some orange. What is that, orange you've got? Can I see? We've got some orange happening. And you're there and, yeah, thanks. And you're there and you're like, wow, orange. How do we get to orange? This is amazing. It's amazing that God created orange, but how did we get there? Or maybe there's some next color that's coming up. And we're saying, wow, purple. Purple. I don't get love. I just don't get it. I don't get faith. I just don't get it. I don't get understanding. I don't understand these things, but they amaze me because I realize that they're great, but I don't get them. But they're amazing. They're amazing. And as Phil mixes up some green, and we say, oh my gosh, the greens, the lovely greens. As a matter of fact, the word says this about the green. He says, what are the trees going to do? They're going to grow, they're going to be green, they're going to be lush, they're going to have fruit. And you're going to say, okay, if that's what God's saying, why am I not seeing trees?